Hi, welcome to Bonita's Kitchen and thank you for joining us. We're excited to bring to you today this tasty recipe for a sweet mustard pickled eggs. Now just recently we've had a few people mention about, well, you got pickled eggs up there. Have you got any mustard pickled eggs? And we're like, no, we don't. We got mustard pickles, we got bread and butter pickles, we got so many different pickles up there. So I just fooled around with our recipe and came up with this delicious one. So if this interests you and you like to know how to make it, just stick around and let's get started. So we'll start off first just showing you the pickling ingredients, and of course this is our staple ingredients: our white vinegar, I got some water, yellow mustard, 4 tablespoonfuls of flour, but if you want to have a little bit more thickening you could go with that. We got a half a cup of white sugar. You could use a substitute sugar of your choice. We got some mustard seed and some turmeric, and this is our pickling spice. And the only difference is with this recipe I'm going to put the pickling spice and the bay leaves directly into the sauce, because it's not necessary just to put it in a cheesecloth. We got some pepper and salt. We'll talk a little bit about each one of it as we go. So I'm going to put that into my saucepan. So before I go to the stove top and get all those ingredients into the saucepan, I get over here already cooked 1 dozen eggs. So what I did is boil them for about 15 minutes till they're hard boiled, and then I drained that off into some cold water, peeled them, put them back into some warm water, and just kept them warm on the stove top because I want them hot when we go to bottle them. So that's easy breezy, and I think we all know how to boil an egg and we all know how to peel them. So I didn't
and eat them.
And of course eat them, of course we do. So that's the degree of that. So we got 12 eggs. So now let's go to the stove top and make this delicious sweet mustard sauce. So like I was saying, this is our eggs all ready to go, warm on the background. Over here is our bottles. We got put in to get sterilized. They're already done. And here is our 2.5 cups of white vinegar. Now I'm using the white vinegar, and the white vinegar is also on our show that we got for pickled eggs, which is streamed over 250,000 times. We're going to be putting in here 1 cup of water, and I'm going to keep a half a cup for stirring the flour in after. So we'll get this starting to boil. This is the half a cup of granulated white sugar, and again you could use the sugar of choice, because remember this is a sweet mustard sauce that we're using here, and you need that sugar. Half a teaspoonful of sea salt or your salt of choice. And this is 1 teaspoonful of turmeric. Now in my other video it's a little bit more turmeric, but I wanted to put a little bit less for the pickled eggs. And this is 2 teaspoonfuls of yellow mustard. So I'm just going to stir that through. Now it's a half a teaspoonful of black or white pepper. You decide what you got available in your home. A teaspoonful of that mustard seeds. Now this is a delicious sauce. This is one that even when I make for my pickles and now for our pickled eggs, Raymond always like a little jar to have on the side for his sandwiches.
It's perfect with a good old homemade bread.
Yeah.
Toasted sandwich with a good sauce over it.
There you go, and see how he's promoting this for me. He's a good helper.
It is, yeah.
A tablespoonful of that pickling spice. So I'll leave the ingredients for that, but I just usually buy it in a container here. Pickling spice and a couple of bay leaves, and we're gonna let this start to cook together. So that might take 5 minutes or so to hot up. And then we'll make our flour and water paste. So as you can see there now, the sauce is starting to boil. And so what I want to do, it takes probably 5 minutes or so to get this at a boiling stage. And then after, when we put the thickening into it, I want for it to cook another 5 to 10 minutes just to release those spices there, those pickling spices. And as you can see over there, I was saying, get your bottle sterilized. I'm going to share the link with you that talks a bit about that. So pretty much 15 to 20 minutes sterilizing your bottles, and then have them ready then to take out, to put the eggs into and pour in this hot sauce. So what I got here, I'm only putting in 4 tablespoonfuls of flour. It can go from 4 to 6 tablespoonfuls, but I don't want it a real thick sauce. But if you want it a little thicker, that's fine. So pretty much I'm putting it into a half a cup of water to mix it up and to get those lumps out of the flour, because we don't want no lumps in there. That
it's got to be lump free.
Lump free, no flour lumps, Raymond. No one, and you don't even like flour lumps in your gravy. I mean, let alone in your pickled eggs, say. But so now after I do that, we'll start pouring it into that mixture. I think that's good enough there now. So excuse my arm. And I'm going to start pouring this in here now without making a big old mess, and continue stirring it until all of that liquid is in there. So all in total was, well, that was a half a cup of water there that we reserved to make this thickening. And I'll share all the ingredients with you, of course, again, if you missed it at the beginning, or if you want to rewatch it. And then as well, I'm going to share with you the link to our video that we put up 7 years ago for pickled eggs. And that's just done with the white vinegar. And it is a delicious recipe. It's one that we used to do when we were kids. Our parents did it when we were kids for Christmas time.
It's an oldie but a goodie.
Yeah, I mean, it was just...
Now, I find that this one here, like, you know, is just as tasty, if not tastier, if there's such a word.
Yeah, because it's got that mustard, and of course we all love mustard. Pretty much on our sandwiches, in our salads. We got this delicious mustard salad that we got there, potato salad. This mustard will be good for that too. All right, so we'll let that thicken. So now while I got my sauce over there cooking just a little bit more, because I wanted to make sure those pickling spices is infused all the ways through it, because that's what makes it, that, you know, gives it that really nice flavor. So pretty much, like you said again, we're not going to be doing the sealing of these today. It's just pretty much you're going to follow the pickling method for sterilizing your bottles and such, getting them ready for bottling. So I got 4. I think this one really is only for 3 bottles, but I got a small one here that I wanted to use because I'm going to give it as a gift, because it'll fit 3 eggs in it, or maybe only 2. So it'll just be a spoiler. It's what it would be. So I'm going to pop these eggs into these bottles, and they're already peeled. So pretty much all I done there is drain the hot water off them, put a little bit of cold water onto it so it wouldn't burn my fingers, because I usually do. Take that off and then put it back into another pot of hot water. Keep them hot because I don't want for them to be cold when I go to pickle them. So now let's show you that. So now I got the eggs into the bottles. I'm going to pour out the liquid. And what I'm going to do is try to tip everything over first.
We're noted for doing that.
Oh my gosh, Raymond, you know I am. Yeah, and making a mess, of course. I'm good at that as well. So you notice that I don't have the sauce really thick, but as it pickles and this egg starts to break down, it'll thicken up a little bit more for you. I didn't want that egg to be up there that much. I'll poke that down because I need about a ½ inch from the top of the bottle, and so that it's properly sealed there. So I'm going to get a fork here and we'll toss these down. You see how it'll be just perfect. I'm going to get a piece of paper towel and clean around the sides, and then I'm going to seal these up. So pretty much like I was saying, you're just going to clean around the rim just in case there was any of that sweet mustard gone around the sides. So just give it a nice little wiping and then put the lids on finger tight for it to go back into that water bath. And the same thing there. So it makes 3 bottles. This one's a little bit wider, so it takes more. So it's usually 5 or 6. Usually around 5 eggs in each bottle, because this is a 1½ cup bottle. So that's it. This is as good as it gets. Now we'll talk a little bit about that and how long you're going to keep it for and where you're going to store it. So now that's pretty much all you need to do there. And as you can see, the eggs is just snugly in there, again about a 1/4 inch or 1 inch from the top. And then put it back into the water bath and just let it seal again for maybe 5-10 minutes. When you take it out and put it at room temperature, you want to check them when they cool to room temperature to see if they're sealed. But the only other thing is you can't store these in your cupboard. You got to put these in your fridge until the duration of when they're gone. So if you got 3 bottles, if you got 6 bottles, date them. You know, this pickled eggs, sweet mustard pickled eggs, and you keep them there until they're gone. When you open them, they're good. They're good for, you know, a month, 2 months. It never lasts.
If they can last that long.
It never lasts that long.
No.
I mean, there's only 4 or 5 eggs in each bottle, so you know it's not going to last. And especially if you make yourself a mustard potato salad, you're not going to have that for that long. But this is it, as good as it gets. I got a bottle here that we were able to save to show you, and I'm going to take that out and let you see what they look like and the color of the egg, and have a little taste, because they're my favorite. Now these here were done probably a month ago, I'd say, and they're nice, and well, the sauce in this one's a little thicker, but that's only because I made it a little thicker. I'd rather the looser one like this, and it will thicken a little small amount. But just look at the color of those eggs. Aren't they just ever delicious? And also, look at this. Look how pretty it looks with that rim of sweet mustard.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm going to have that little taste now, Raymond, in a second. I'll let you have a little taste. But there they are. Sweet mustard pickled eggs, and you're going to love them.
Good for any occasion.
Any occasion, and definitely for snacking. So now, I hope you're excited today, as we are, to share this recipe with you for these sweet mustard pickled eggs. And again, we got pickled eggs up there that have been there for 7 years, streaming 250,000 times. People love them. So I got a feeling this is just as lovable, because if you love mustard, this is it. This is as good as it gets. Just like having a potato salad. Yeah. So now we're going to leave you those recipe for this batch of sweet mustard pickled eggs. And under this video, it's going to be a drop down bar, either see more or an arrow. Or you can send us a message at bonitakitchen@gmail.com. No S. You can also visit us on our website, www.bonitaskitchen.com, and join our newsletter. We'd be so happy to send you updated versions of new recipes each week. And you can also pop by and visit us on our Facebook page, and we'll share that recipe with you there as well. You can as well make more eggs than this if you want to, but just remember, you gotta keep them stored in your fridge, because I can't guarantee you that they will last and be still good out on the counter. It gotta be cold. And the remainder of your pickled mustard, put in a jar if you want to use it for another recipe, or when it cools down to put on a sandwich. It's entirely up to you. We're not going to take any more of your time. We know it's precious. And on behalf of myself, Raymond, and our team, and from our kitchen to yours,
you have a wonderful day.
Join us by the sea, a journey in culinary, always an open door. Bonita's kitchen to yours. Bonita's kitchen.
If you're here in Newfoundland and Labrador, don't forget to visit beautiful Bay Roberts and join us again on Bonita's Kitchen.